Hello and welcome back to the Fourth Down Fiasco. I'm going to be your host today, Tanner Vinski. Danny and Jordan both decided to abandon me, so I had to bring in the big guns. I brought in probably the expert, not just one of them, but the expert of all things European football, Matt Bressington. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about the Americans coming in the last 100, and some call outs were made, and now I've taken over, you could say, of their spot. So I feel like now this is my house.
Well,
Rather
I
than
mean, they had to medically retire. They had to get out of here, so we're
you know what I mean? I'm the new one now. I'm what's happening now. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
yeah. Well, it's gonna help us because we don't have, we can't fly out there and talk to people. So we need whatever advantages we can get from the 5 hour time difference for me, but 7 hour for the other guys.
Yeah. Oof,
Which
yeah. I forgot you're on that side of the world.
got to
Jeez.
give a shout out to Danny and Jordan for like actually being able to schedule interviews and shit.
Yeah,
But
for a 7-hour trip, that's insane.
it's
I forgot how many different time zones you guys have in the States. Like for here in Europe, I can call someone in Poland, it's like a 1 hour difference.
which is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, from here to Cali is 3 hours. And then that's not even adding Alaska, which has like three time zones of its own.
Oh,
Just
Alaska. I completely forgot about Alaska.
yeah,
Jesus.
it's ridiculous. But no one lives there anyway, so you don't have to worry about it.
True.
But
Yeah, very true. ELF team, you know what I mean? That would be NFL team, say about moving to Canada for or Europe for an NFL team. I think Alaska would be more fun, you know what I'm saying?
be fucking brutal.
It would be
That's what
evil.
can you imagine the flights those people would have to go on? Oh, it'd be
On a
terrible.
halftime show would just be polar bears.
Yeah, I mean, they would get like 30 people in the stands at most.
But those 30 people would be very diehard.
Every game's a night game too because it's
Oh,
just
yeah,
fucking
would. I
dark.
forgot
It's
about
just
that. Oh.
dark all the time. What's it called? So our rundown for the show today is again like the last three episodes. At this point, we're just giving more and more updates about the ELF AFLE conundrum that's been going on, the chaos that is the two leagues, what it means. We got some interesting news about some signings that occurred, some big name guys who have decided to say, fuck all this mess. I'm going to go somewhere stable so I don't have to deal with this hassle, which, I mean, makes a lot of sense just from a player perspective.
Yeah, don't blame
So
them.
go over that. AFLE also made a statement that's a little contradictory to what they've been saying before about their team setup. So we're going to get into that a little bit. And then, I don't know, we'll just talk about what teams seem like they could actually be real and what little bit of information we got before we get to the first where they say they're going to tell us more, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I think that January window, because everyone's saying about, like, I'm hearing from both sides of the leagues, different leagues. January is when it's all going to just open up. Because a lot of these teams have, like, 3-year deals that were in set a couple of years ago that end on 2025. So I think when 2026 opens, we should, in theory, see quite a lot of this stuff explained. But I guess
Which I feel like there's been a lot of theories and there's been a
oh my
lot of in
god,
theory, right?
the
So
theories! I've heard the most insane thing. See, the crazy thing is, I heard about the Monaco team like 2 months ago, and I was like, "That's never gonna fucking like we're not gonna have a fucking Monaco team. Like that's ridiculous." And like this person was like, "Nah, it's a pretty good source. The Monaco team might happen." I'm like, "Bullshit! Like that's just fucking
yeah,
like that's
like
ridiculous."
why? Right.
And then they dropped it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's news. That's something."
Well, and I mean, speaking of the Monaco team, I mean, there's what they're saying is, because obviously Monaco, they have the one soccer field, and that's like their
Mhm.
only stadium for the entire city.
Yeah,
And obviously they're not going to be using that for AFLE games. So it's they're going to put their stadium in Nice, and then they're going to have all their operations in Nice. And it's like, well, then what's the fucking point of being called Monaco, right?
you know what I mean. Like I think as well, like I don't know what rules they're gonna do. They haven't said what rules they're gonna do. Obviously, ELF rules. You have
Yeah.
your base of homegrowns, and in fact, there is actually a rule that a lot of people don't know about within the homegrowns. You have to have a certain amount. I can't remember how many it is. I think it's 10 or 12 players from your city in
Mm-hmm.
your team. So like even Barcelona, that when it was free Alex Postito, when it was back when Barcelona were falling apart, he
Mm-hmm.
was part of the Barcelona core of players that were part of that city. That's why he couldn't leave over. So like Good luck finding 12 Monaco players or 10.
Yeah, no shit. Like,
However many Monaco players you think you can try and find. Like, that's a crazy hard job. You know, that's ridiculous.
because what the population's like 33,000, right?
Yeah. And how many of them
And
even know about a league in Europe? Probably
well,
6.
I mean, you couldn't field like a soccer team in Monaco, probably, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think
such
you could.
a
I'm
small
not even sure
population.
if they play, you know, like San Marino in Italy, they play games. I don't know if Monaco could even really play games as like a nation. You know, I know it's a kind of a city state weird, but like, oof, I mean, import rules and then like rent. You say they're gonna get maybe house in like the south of France somewhere else or the stadium, but all this adds up. Especially if you're gonna call it Monaco, you at least got to do something in Monaco.
Yeah, no, you can't just like play outside of Monaco, have all your players outside of Monaco, have
Mm,
your main office outside Monaco. It's like, well, what's the fucking point? Like,
you
why are
know,
we?
yeah, weird
Are
one.
we
That team is the one. I know we're gonna get onto in a minute. That's the one I'm the most skeptical about.
and the thing is from everything at least we've heard on our end, is they're like, no, the Monaco team's legit. The Monaco team's gonna happen, and it's like, okay, sure, you can say everything about this, right? You can say we're gonna get this Monaco team. They're gonna come through. They're gonna perform. But when all the evidence and all of logic completely defies against them even functioning,
Mm.
I don't get it. And I remember people were when we were talking to those other guys in there, you know, they were saying, well, they'll get their imports from, you know, the neighboring countries. You know, you'll get like Southern French players and Italian players. But the thing is the AFLE already said they're like, oh, well, we want to add another France team. We want to add another Italy team. And it's like, well, then you're competing with them if you're going to use your homegrowns in that area. And it's like, what's the point? Like,
Completely
it,
agree. And Jim Thompson, I mean, this is not me saying this is on Reddit. You can see it. Like Jim Tom Sula is even linked to that head coaching job. So like now you've got a former champion in Europe, obviously a former NFL head coach as well, and Tom Sula, probably the best reputation in all of Europe for a head coach.
I mean, yeah,
And now
he's
you're going to
like,
put all on him to build it, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, bring in his staff and his guys to a Monaco team, but that's going to be expensive.
no, and I mean, it seems like it's just name value, right? Like,
Hmm.
okay, we got the big dog of
Yeah.
of European American football. Like,
Yeah.
Jim Tomsula is like the guy. Like, if you don't know anything about the ELF or anything going on, you at least have heard his name. And it just seems
He's awesome too. He's a great guy. He's a
yeah.
great guy. So he could put a team together, I'm sure of it. But like, there's a lot of pressure to put on one person because again, coaching staff wise, and they could probably just go around the south of France, but you're gonna have to house these dudes at least near Monaco, and that's gonna be its own logistical and financial
Fucking
problem.
nightmare.
Yeah, and all we've heard, like I know we're kind of bashed on the AFLE at the moment. All we've heard is like transparency, 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 transparency. That's the thing they keep saying about it, transparency.
And we're
Yeah,
just on the
like
dark.
I don't think we've really had that much transparency,
No,
like at all.
dude.
You know what I mean? That's the bit that's confusing me the most.
Well, that's the craziest part about the whole situation is last year the main complaints like was the league is not transparent enough. We don't know what's going on. I feel like we had a much better grasp on everything that was happening last year than we do this year. This year, it's like
what when did me and Nick go to Cologne? I think me and Nick did Cologne in like the early year, so it was a FIBO event, so it's like March, around March April time. And like they had most of their rosters done, basically. They had all the graphics sorted out. We did Sign and Sentinel, I think was happening about this time last year. So like it was kind of rolling. Like we knew there's a few different doubts, but like now it's just doubled. Like all the transparency we didn't have with the ELF last year, because it definitely wasn't perfect. As someone who was within the ELF, it definitely wasn't perfect. And now it's just doubled. It just feels like it's just the same thing, just twice with
yeah.
with weirder teams, because now we've got 2 fucking teams in Switzerland, which struggled with one anyway.
Oh yeah, the first Switzerland team was horrible. I mean,
Here's a question for you and everyone listening at home: who was worse, Barcelona last year or 2024, or Cologne 2025?
I mean, the only reason I think Barcelona is worse is just the fact that Cologne was terrible. Like they had so many things going against them. They got blown out by everybody. Barcelona, the vibes were just so rancid. I mean, they were surrendering games. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the product on the field was a little bit better from Barcelona, but at least Cologne functioned. You know, they were able to make it out each week, and it seemed like there was a lot less drama going on.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we get one of these Switzerland teams that are going to be pushing the pool in half, I feel like one of those rosters is going to be very similar to what we just saw from Cologne or Barcelona, right? Because the Switzerland team already wasn't good. Like, they didn't have a strong pool of players. They weren't very well run with Helvetic, and now we're splitting that in half. Like, I mean, Helvetic didn't look too much better than Cologne. So if we're going to cut it in half, like...
It's the thing with Helvetic, though. I made a note of they're not currently within the ELF. Everyone assumes they're going to be within the ELF, and they've kind of suggested they're going to be in the ELF. However, you look at their imports, they've got 2 American skill positions, which obviously eliminates your quarterback being American. I know there is, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I know there is like a D2 guy who's Swiss. But like, let's be honest, you kind of need an American quarterback. And then they got an American D-line and an American linebacker, I think. The Canadian D-line, which counts the same as American. So no American DBs. And good luck getting Milan Spiller and all these other great Swiss talent if you cannot get the ball to them. Like, I don't see Helvetic like living at all. I'd be very surprised if they even enter the ELF, let alone win a game in 2026 at all, or even play a game in 2026. Fuck winning. I mean, surprised they play. I guess it would be a massive achievement.
No, I completely agree. I mean, it's difficult too with Helvetic because they haven't because now the ELF has that approval process, right? They have to approve you coming into the league and say you are competent enough to compete, essentially. And Helvetic hasn't gone through that process yet, right? So how is the ELF going to sit there and look at EFA, ELF, whatever it's going to be in the new year, right? How are they going to sit there and look at this shit show that's going on in Helvetic and be like, yeah, no, you guys are up to speed. You can definitely compete. Like, and if they're going to get kicked out, and if the Alpine Rams are already going to the AFLE, why would the AFLE be like, yeah, 2 Switzerland teams, sure, fuck it, right? Like,
they're not going to do that. They're just not going to do that.
It's just not going to happen.
The way that's here, we got 5 confirmed as of the recording. You have the Raiders, the Galaxy, the Lions, the Musketeers, and the Bravos in the European League of Football. We can very much assume Nordic. So that makes 6. And then another German team is suggested. That'll probably be Munich, potentially.
Most likely.
Maybe you add in one more. You could do a 7-team league. You do everyone plays everyone twice. That's 12 games.
Yeah, that could work.
You could do that. Like, it would look a bit funky. It would be very different to like American divisions. But like, you could make that work, I feel. Definitely. But with them on the outside, you got Italy and then obviously the UK team coming in 2027. Here's the thing I want to talk to you about the UK team. I know a lot of people are going to be waiting for me to talk about this one. The AFLE London team, that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me, is that came out of nowhere. Like, I know if I'm going off topic, you can reel me back.
No, you're just go for it. All right. Well, there's so much to talk about that. We kind of just have
so much. Yeah. There was rumblings of London for like years. Obviously, me being in Bristol, I'm not in London, but I'm very connected to people in London around, blah, 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 blah. Those rumblings, we kind of all heard a little bit about it, and there were some suggestions that might be coming along. Some people, I myself, openly had a meeting towards the back. Actually, just a funny story. My shoe, I wore a suit to the interview, obviously. My shoe bursts on the way to interview. So I had no foot. Like, I just had my foot hanging out the bottom of my shoe. So I had to walk around London, if you've ever been around London, with basically one sole on my foot. So that wasn't too fun,
awesome.
But that was an interview I'll never forget. Just a wet shoe, talking to like the guy who wants to bring a London team, and I'm trying to discuss it while I've got like water in my foot. That was fun. But yeah, there was rumors of that. Obviously, they drop that they're going to be happening. Everyone suspects it'll be 2027 because 2026 will be a bit too early to flip a team, even with the work they've done beforehand. And then the AFLE are like, well, we got a London team. Like, okay, well, it's not the same London team. We know that because Ghana was mentioned in the ELF, like not buyout, but like they was mentioned in the ELF process.
Yeah.
So he wasn't going to be in charge of it. So this London team came out of nowhere, made calls to everyone, texting every head coach I know in the UK, like, what have you heard? Who is it? No one knows a damn thing. It's completely out of thin air. There's no coach currently connected to it. No one knows anything. It's absurd. It's completely against like what you would think would happen with a team. Like you always hear about rumblings, right? And there was just nothing. It just came out of nothing. So weird.
Well, that's why it's so Danny. I'll give credit to Danny here because Danny is a little bit more bought in than Jordan and I are about the AFLE not being like a leverage option. Just because he's been hearing a lot from their side. Obviously, all the people in Vienna still really like Danny. You know, he came in, the American, like they're very much on Danny's side, and they're trying to plead their case to him. Like, trust me, we're not running this scam. Like, you gotta bear with us. But it's just so crazy to me for the AFLE. Like you said, it's taken a while to get a London team set up for this year for the ELF, EFA, right? Like it has taken forever to get this set up. People have been speaking about it. They've been wanting it. And we're just now there. And then now all of a sudden the AFLE comes in and they essentially just like drop their balls on the table and like, yeah, we got a London team. Yeah. We're going to have this. And it's going to be playing in 2026. Whereas, the EFA one's not even going to come until 2027. And honestly, for the ELF, I think that's better that they have a year before they go because we have a bunch of UK players in different spots. You got Arthur Kingdom out in Madrid now. And, I assume Tunga's staying with Nordic. I don't imagine he would leave for whatever reason. Unless, Nordic doesn't sign or something crazy, right? But I mean, which at this point we kind of have to expect anything. I mean, yeah, we could get to the point where Nordic comes in super successful franchise and all of a sudden they're like, well, we can't play because we don't have a league to join. And it's like, oh shit.
Can you imagine if that?
Oh, it'd be brutal. It'd be terrible for the sport.
It would ruin because a lot of people in the comment section of the AFLE like recent thing, the public perception of the AFLE is so low, and me myself, I've had to kind of like I've had contact with both, obviously, but like I've been going back and forth. I've been having like a bit of an inner crisis about it because I kind of got to pick one. A player could play in the AFLE or the ELF. If it folds halfway through the year, they could go and jump ship to the other league. No one's going to have bad thoughts about player going to Berlin and then maybe going to Frankfurt. No one's going to care. But I've got to kind of pick one to kind of cover, I guess, or maybe to dedicate my time to, because obviously ELF Live was so popular last year and I want to do different things. But like, yeah, it's been hard to kind of, the stock and value of each league every day is going up and down. And today, at closing of stock, the ELF is currently higher than the AFLE. But it'll probably change like fucking tomorrow on Christmas Day. Someone will drop some random thing and it'll change.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the AFLE could just come out and be like, here's all of our contracts. Here's all the transparency. Here's everything. We are actually legit. And then it's sitting there and it's like, well, shit.
I wish they just went, here's the teams. Here's the names. Here's the teams. Here's when they're playing. Here's the start. Here's the roster rules. Done.
And that's why personally for me, like when I look at everything like that, it just doesn't seem legit because I feel like if it was, they would have just told us all of this shit already, right? Like they would have just came out and been like, yeah, here are the 8 teams that we're planning to compete. I mean, I guess theoretically 10 now, right? 10 from 6 different nations is what they're saying. And that's insane to me. What do you mean we're just magically pulling 10 fucking teams out of thin air? Because I mean, I guess 6 at this point because they have the 4 from the established ELF. But even to the 4 that are already established, is Berlin going to play? I mean, like Berlin was in financial hell. Like
they were
a few months ago. So
they really were. Maybe Simon's actually in the process of making a Berlin video at the moment because they've signed like a Super Bowl winning head coach, I believe. They've got this really exciting young core, Chris Mackay. They've got Tyler Foster. They've got Sham. They've got like Bias Kuyenda. That's like a really great offensive
absolutely.
But like you say, I swear to God, they like filed for bankruptcy the same as the Surge did like a couple months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So,
and it's crazy to me as like the AFLE. Why are you trying to revive the Berlin Thunder, but you're not trying to revive the Stuttgart Surge, who just won a championship, right? Like, if I'm starting up this league, I'm trying to make sure the Surge don't go under because they have a very respectable brand and they were bringing in tons of fans. I mean, their stadium hosted the fucking championship just a few months ago.
Yeah,
Berlin was on a glorified like soccer field.
It wasn't even glorified. It was like older than the First World War. Like that, it was legit, like just stone concrete seats.
Yeah,
like
The Berlin stadium was terrible.
Berlin, it's the capital city, but like
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Berlin, I did a research study for my master's was actually on like the different behaviors in parts of Germany. But like
Mhm.
Berlin is such a divided city, always has been.
Well,
So like
yeah.
kind of trying to make that like one fan base to really get behind one German American football team is a
It's a tough
tall
sell.
order. A really, really tough sell. Like you say, Surge was so good. They had such great coaches. They had such great fans that really deserved better. Because like the Surge were arguably as bad as Cologne were a couple of years ago. You got Louis
Mhm.
Geyer as what, like a 19-year-old rookie sensation, all the way up to a MVP in the championship game in his hometown. Like that was such a great
Yeah,
story.
it's
You
a
think
huge story.
with all this funding they've saying that they have, fucking buy out the Stuttgart Surge. That would be the first thing on the order sheet for me personally.
And I think we would probably feel a little bit more positively if we saw that they brought in. Imagine they come out and they're like, our four teams are Rhein, Vienna, Stuttgart, and Wrocław. And it's like, yeah, Wrocław has had its degree of problems, but guess what? Wrocław didn't have any issues with pulling in fans. Their stadiums were always packed. I mean, all four of those teams did exceptionally well. And I would say Berlin was probably like a bottom 4 or 5 team in attendance last year, easily, right? Like, I mean, you can maybe argue they were one of the worst. Like,
Yeah, I think ELF has those numbers. They're definitely top or bottom, rather, like 3, because they only ever beat Cologne and once the Enthroners. Like those were the 2 teams they beat, and it was like, all right, now you're gonna turn it around and beat Vienna.
yeah, exactly. They're going to compete with Vienna and Rhein, and even Wrocław. I mean, Wrocław would fucking dominate the team from last year, So,
I mean, shit. I mean, is it even time to discuss if Vienna are even in the AFLE? I know that sounds a little bit rogue, considering we all kind of assume they're going to be, but they're not announced, and we've had teams drop out.
I mean,
So,
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, it could be crazy. Maybe it's a wild ball one. I'm sure the Raiders would be pissed because Raiders would be great if they could just take some of these guys that want to come play on the zone and just try and win a championship. I think that would be good for the Raiders, but not so great for the Vikings. But it's such a, because I feel like I'm shitting on both leagues. I think both have their good attributes, and I think both have their bad attributes. I think they is a merger out of the question at this point. Do you reckon?
There's no way. Like,
No, at this point.
At this point, I mean, it seems like the bad blood is horrible between, and it's especially just like those teams that want Zelko gone no matter what, right? Like, and it's just ridiculous to the point because Zelko has been so deplatformed in the ELF. And again, I can understand why there's extremely bad blood with everything he's doing because that guy was just a disaster of a manager, of a president of a company. Like, he could not pay anybody. He could not get any of his shit straight. So I get why everybody's so pissed. Like, I get why those teams are like, we don't want to deal anything with him. But he has been so kicked down. It's like you can really sit there and solidify and make the future of this league better if you were to join in and buy in and help the EFA. Because, I mean, the EFA essentially performed I keep calling it a hostile takeover. Like, they essentially unionized, They got together. They said, we need this. This is what's going to happen. They got almost 90% of what they wanted. And then now it's just not good enough. And it's to the point where it's like, well, we need Zelko arrested. And it's like, what's the ELF supposed to do about that, right? Like, how are they going to control that?
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to talk too much about Zelko like in a bad way because at the end of the day, he kind of gave me an opportunity to work in American football as a paid person. So like
for sure,
for me, I can't really be too critical, and I've never had any bad experiences with him. Maybe that's, I don't know. I've never really spoken to him at all, but of course, a lot has gone wrong, and I think that fingers being pointed at him isn't necessarily a bad thing. Having said that, you can't deny that even if it was a bit of a one-man person, it was a lot quicker to make decisions than 9 people who all want different things, and then in a different league who all want different things, and some people want this guy in jail, which just isn't going to happen.
No.
And this team, like, it's just the democracy. It is great, but like it moves a lot slower. So
I mean,
at the end of the day, it's not good what he's done for sure, and it's definitely slowed it down. But he did give us the ELF, and I think he deserves a bit of credit for that at least. I don't want to be like pictured as the guy who's defending the guy that maybe have fucked all of Europe up, but he did
No,
start this.
and that's why I think it's very unreasonable that we're at this stage where a lot of these teams have gotten exactly what they wanted, and just because they're trying to at least keep them a little bit in the system, they're like, no, this is not okay. Like, we can't have this.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, he fucked up a lot, right? Like a lot of things went really poorly, but you make a great point. Like, without him, is European football off the stage, right? Like, is a European American football off the stage? Most likely not.
Yeah, I do agree. So there's a good and there's bad, really. All the points. Like, you are right. Like, again, I think a lot of people are gonna take that and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Matt loves Željko," but like, I've met Željko maybe like once, and Željko doesn't speak the best English, and I don't speak any other language, so our meeting was very brief. So it's kind of a difficult position, isn't it? Everyone, the same with when Patrick Uzme left his position as like CEO. Half the people were like, "Oh, good riddance," and half the people were like, "Oh, he's done a lot and he's at least gave us the league." But you're never going to please anyone with decisions. But however, he definitely has mismanaged the ELF. Let's say mismanaged, because that's the thing that they have is all this debt that is publicly known in the ELF and at AFLE currently at this point have allegedly said they've got all this funding, all this backing. But the thing I'm worried about is a TV deal as well. We've got DAZN on the ELF, and we don't have any announcement of this transparent TV deal with AFLE. So that's the thing for me as well.
Well, and that's going to be a nightmare for the AFLE to figure out, is because how are you going to market your product, right? Like, how are you going to get yourself out there? And I don't know how much truth is to what we've heard, but there's rumblings that they're trying to work something out with Disney Plus, but that seems just so beyond the scope of what they would be capable of. Like, I don't, how are they going to secure a Disney Plus deal? Like, are you kidding me? You're going to go to probably the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the entire world. I mean, maybe besides like Nintendo or something, like in Japan, right?
It'll be bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and you're just going to sit there and be like, yeah, no, we're going to be able to stream our games on their platform. It's like, okay. And that's why it's so bizarre with all the AFLE statements, because it really is just like them dropping their nuts on the table with each announcement. Like, we got this, we got this, we got this. And it's like, who the hell is funding you? Like, what do you mean?
I want to know, because
like, what do you mean you got all this shit? Like, you just have an infinite money supply?
Paying them out.
Yeah.
Like, the ELF had a list. They said this group, this group, this group, this group. I think some of them, Ghana was one of them. They had some Saudis and some Americans. And now, so they've said this is our new investment. That's why we're able to continue funding. We haven't had any kind of like insight into who is ultimately running the AFLE, because they don't have like a guy in charge. At the moment, a lot of people think it's a certain person that's involved with a certain team, but like, we already know we don't have like a face of a league. At least, like, Ingo Schiller is currently technically the CEO, I believe, of the ELF. We don't really have like a spokesperson. And I think they need that, and I think they need to start releasing a lot more information, and very, very quickly. Otherwise, they're going to lose quite a lot of fanfare, especially in that Paris. Did you see the Red Company like statement? Oof, they're not very happy about it. They're not very happy about it at all.
No, and again, we didn't even get into the whole Paris situation. Like, we talked about the ridiculousness of the London situation and bringing in a London team, but now we're splitting Paris, because when we saw the first statement with the AFLE was Team France, I was like, okay, they're probably looking at like a Marseille or somewhere else in France, right? Like, there's no way they want to compete directly with the Musketeers. But same situation we're having with the Swiss teams, same situation we're going to have with the London teams. Now they're just like, fuck it, 2 teams in Paris.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I don't know how they're going to, and that makes it terrible for a lot of French players, because they just have to make a decision, and they have to hope that they're making the right decision.
Yeah.
Which
it's 3 decisions, because now it's Monaco as well, because they're not going to get Monaco guys. They're going to get Monelasques. They're going to get French. So it's three team, 120 French talented players. I ain't going to lie, Tanner. There is not 120 guys that are like high level ELF. If you said to me 2 London franchises, I could be like, you know what? There's probably 80 players in London, or the UK, I should say, that are talented enough to be within a roster. Not 120 French players though. That's getting
It's
to the point
crazy.
where you're like, oh,
Yeah, and that's why I thought if there was two, you have some Southern France, right? You got a Southern
yep.
France team, and you got Paris up in the north, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, we can maybe
Sure.
make something happen here. But
Mhm.
again, you got two in Paris that are going to be stealing the whole pool there, and it's like, is Monaco going to get all of like what is that called, Aquitania, like in
I
the
think
southern
so.
part?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous. Like, there's no way that like that's the case. And if that's the case, like, and if that is what is occurring, it just brings it back. Why the hell is it in Monaco? Like, put it in Nice, put it in Marseille, like put it in one of the southern cities that actually like represents that culture. Because I said it to the group chat, like this isn't just like we're putting, because a prime example that everybody like bitches about in the NFL is like, oh, there's no actual New York City team. They play in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yeah.
East Rutherford is a suburb of New York City. You don't go to East Rutherford and you're like, oh, look at the East Rutherfordian culture and look at all their different food and all this shit, right? No,
Yeah.
it's New York,
Mm.
It's the same exact thing. Like any suburb of any major city, that's the case. But with Monaco and Nice, it's not like, oh, this Nice is just a suburb of Monaco, or Monaco is just a suburb of Nice. It's like, no, these are two very distinct cities with their own culture, with their own food, with their own type of way of living. Like, it'd be the same thing as like, I think the distance between Nice and Monaco is a little bit is about, or maybe like a little bit further than the distance between Washington D.C. and Baltimore.
Oh,
And the thing
really?
is
Jeez.
it's really not that like, those two cities are like pretty close to each other.
Mm.
And the thing is if you put a team in Baltimore and said, yeah, this is the Washington D.C. team, everybody in America would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and the thing is I can tell you the cultural differences and the things going on in Monaco and Nice are much bigger than the cultural difference between DC and Baltimore,
Yeah.
So
yeah, but you walk 10 minutes down France or England or even Germany, you get a different accent. Every different village will have a different accent.
Oh yeah, I get so confused every time I see like the videos of people like, oh, like what are the best British accents, and they're like talking about like every city's got a different one. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, legit.
Like because it's just so foreign to an American. Because I mean, the whole South has its own accent. Like from freaking Louisiana's got its own thing, but like from Mississippi over to Georgia, like those three states, it's like, yeah, everybody sounds the exact same, and that's like multiple thousands of miles of land. It's like pretty much the same extent of going from like the top of England to the bottom of England. But if you drive in a straight line from the top of England all the way down to like Cornwall, you're hitting like 400 different accents, right? Like,
I mean, shit, Cornwall wants to be its own country.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're their own thing,
Do Monegasques have different passports? I don't think they do, but they might do. Like that might even be its own thing. But like, there's so much with that Paris team that I'm confused about, even as a marketing guy, to say you're going to have a team and then don't announce a name or a team or a stadium or anything. Just say Paris football team. And then we're going to tell you about it in late February. Like, no, I'm not waiting till late fucking February. I'm just going to go support the Musketeers team that already exists. Like, and already has a stadium and already has like Zach Edwards back. And Austin Mitchell back, and Tekadam, and all these like Tekadam might be the second or first best French receiver. So unless you're going to get someone equal to him, I'm just going to go support the Musketeers. Like, I'm not going to.
And I don't see any reason why anybody in Paris wouldn't support the Musketeers. The Musketeers have been successful thus far. They're bringing back Zach Edwards, who was like their first QB. It's a huge like PR move, and also Zach Edwards can ball. Like, he's a good football player. Like, it's just. The team's going to be good. Like, the Musketeers, if they make it through all this chaos, like, I would bet on whatever league they're in. I'd be like, yeah, the Musketeers are probably a contender. Like, they could make a shot at winning it all. And so it makes zero sense to just sit there and be like, as a neutral Paris fan, to be like, yeah, I want to join this random new franchise, That
we don't even know if the leagues can. I've had people legit message me taking bets. Is this league gonna play week 1? Like, I'm gonna put $5. Legit having people like, I'll put $5 on you that this league won't start its season. I'm like, I'm not gonna take bets. But like, I can understand why people are taking bets, because it's just
it seems so far-fetched,
It's insane. Like, you told us a year ago that this shit was happening, we wouldn't believe you, because it was already messy last year. Like, we remember towards the preseason, it was around January last year, I got a few messages now, like, we need a quarterback for Cologne. Like, everyone else is recruited by January. That's the thing that a lot of people don't know. And that's why I'm very worried about this London team, by the way. The recruiting is done by January, most of the time. You've got your imports. I mean, shit, look at Prague. Like, they've already got, I think, 8. They've got most of their, I think they got 8 of their imports. A lot of them already have their guys. That's already been done. They've got them in. They've got the visas in. The homegrowns are basically the last players to get signed because it takes the shortest amount of time to get them locked in. But you've done all the fucking busy work. And these established ELF teams already have the previous contracts from last year. Some guys are on 2 years. You know, role players are going to be happy to renew a contract and get a couple $100 a month. These new teams don't have that pre-established player base. They don't have well, some of them do, but like not like Alpine, they don't. It's just man. Good luck fucking finding these players from London to get signed in, because I went wildly off topic because I started talking about roster rules. So Cologne messaged me and they're like, we need a quarterback. I sent them a list of 100. They didn't sign fucking any of them, which is really, really fun. And they were terrible because they didn't recruit. And that was in January. And we're coming to January in like 2 weeks. So,
and that's the craziest part about this is we're looking at all these teams. We know that like nearly none of these teams are in a good spot to have a full blown roster by the end of January, honestly. Mm-hmm. And now you're looking at the AFLE and they're saying 10 teams, 6 nations. We're fielding 10 football teams. It's about to be January. And I don't know if they're shooting for the same start date, but are we going to be able to get 10 football teams up and running in 4 months? That seems like a Herculean task to like get like. That's what's so crazy to me is like if they came out and they're like, our 4 teams are those 4 ELF teams, and we're just going to have a 4-team league, or even just like a 6-team league. They added 2 more teams. I'm like, we're doing a 6-team league. It's like, okay, I can believe this. They got the 4 established franchise. They're adding in 2 more. It's going to be a little bizarre. It's going to be a small league, and maybe not that interesting, but they're there. But now they're telling us, oh no, we got 10. The ELF barely even. No. I mean, if you get rid of the 3 teams that were terrible, I mean, they were at 10. You know.
Yeah. It was basically a 10-team league last year. Let's be real. Like, if you're playing Cologne or Helvetic, it was basically
or Verifar, yeah. You know,
or Verifar, yeah. At least they made it fun with Berlin. Like, the quickest I know a team was made, and this is legit, by the way, like early ELF, was 4 weeks. Like, I know they made an ELF team in 4 weeks. Like one of my good coaching friends, but like it nearly put him in the ground. Like, he had to make a lot of phone calls.
4 weeks?
4 weeks to build an ELF team. And the ELF team was all right. Like, it was fine. I don't think it would take a statistician to figure out what team was 4 weeks, because that team isn't around anymore. Mm-hmm. And that just kind of shows the organization skills of that team. But, like, you could build an ELF team in a month. Should you build an ELF team in a month is a very different
question. Yeah, very different question.
Because housing in London, too, like, I reckon, give or take, a London franchise, I reckon it's about €5 million. Like, you want an investor to put €5 million in, that's going to be a hell of a pitch. Like, we were in a new league. We don't have a history. We don't have a name value because the ELF has the name value. AFLE is hard to pronounce. There's 2. I think a league should always be 3 letters. That's just maybe something with me. Yeah. AFLE, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Like, 5 million is a lot of money to dedicate towards a new league, you know?
And like 5 million is like a minimum, you know? Like you're probably struggling at 5 million to get this team up and running, you know? So, and like a smart investor would want to even put more than that, you know? I think if you're trying to open up a brand new franchise that's going to play a professional sport, you're looking at least double digits in the millions, right? Like that's the only way that it's going to stay stable, and you're going to sit there and be like, okay, this first year, probably going to do terrible with our finances. Like, it's probably not going to go well, and we need a little bit of cushion. And I just don't buy that they just have somebody who's in there and it's like, yeah, I'll put 15 million into a London team and just let it rip, you know?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah why not? Yeah, right.
we ball. We ain't got any, like, I don't mean to be the guy of like, I'm Matt Bressington, you should know who I am. But, like, I feel if there was a London team being built and they were contacting players, I might know about it. You know what I'm saying?
You would
Like,
at least
think
have
that
it.
would be
Someone would
content.
at least DM'd you, right? Like somebody would have.
You know what I mean? I get people asking me advice all the time about where should I play, but never like help me build this team. If you're building a team in London and you don't have a person helping out on that, if you want to do it this year, like I think that would be a very, 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 very tall order. I haven't spoken to the AFLE about it like at all because it's just not something I can reach out to them and just be like, "Oi, you wanna pay me like 50 G's to build this team?" Like it's not going to happen. But if it does, fair play. That's
Yeah.
mad. We got a London American football team. If it doesn't, I feel like they've reeled people in with this London thing, and then they've just went, you know what? We were wrong. We're just gonna pull that away, and then I think that ruins it. If they don't make a London team now, I think it ruins them.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's a lot of it, and that's why it's so scary with all the announcements they've had, because if they back out on any of these, it makes it just look more and more non-legitimate, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just going to build so much distrust from the public and from players and from everything that matters, right? Like
Yeah.
if any of these promises don't go through, no one's buying in.
Mm.
And if no one's buying in, they're screwed. Like they're DOA.
Yeah.
So I guess let's discuss it, right? I mean, they're saying 10 teams, 6 nations. I
Mhm.
mean, the nations we know they're going to have Austria. Well, actually, I guess we don't know if they're going to have Austria, but we
Well,
can
technically,
assume.
no.
We can assume that's probably one. We
Mhm.
assume
Well,
we're going to
we got
have
Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah, with the Alpine.
Yeah.
We're going to have Germany. We're going to have
Mhm.
Poland.
Yeah.
We're up to 4, so we got 2 more. Oh, well, we got France.
Yeah. So one
So-
more nation.
One more
Maybe?
nation. Oh, well, the British team.
Yeah, but is that going to even be a thing? Like, would you rather? I mean, shit. Is Monaco counting as a nation? Does Monaco count as a nation? If they're trying to be all funny about it, does Monaco count as a nation?
I mean, they can group them in with French, I guess. I
You know
mean,
what
if
I'm
they
saying?
really want
If we want to piss off some Monaco fans before you
Yeah.
start the season, call them
to call them
basically
the
the same as
proxy of France. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think it's you've got to have Vienna because like they were the big, from what me and you both know, I think from our connections, they were definitely one of the people pulling the strings on this new league. Same with it was them and Ryan, from what I understood, are like the
Mhm.
two big dudes, and then it was everyone else was kind of like acceptant of their ideology, I suppose. Obviously, Alpine just came in, so I think it has to be the UK team. If it's not, does the league die if you don't have the London team playing week 1?
I don't know if it's exactly like a straight death knell, but I think
Mm.
you're definitely grasping for air. You know, if you don't put that London team out there, I mean, even I think if you don't put that Monaco team out there, and you come out here and you're saying we're doing these things, and you just straight up lied and it didn't go through, like I said, you're putting a very bad impression in people's mouths, because I think a lot of the general public is pissed off at this league anyways, because they want to watch European American football and they feel like this is more about politics rather than the sport itself. And you know how sports fans are. Whenever it becomes about politics, they get real visceral. You know, it becomes real vitriol and they get very upset. So, and whether that, you know, frustration is justified or should occur doesn't necessarily matter, because that's just the reality of what happens. I mean,
Mm.
if you look at any sport, anytime things get bogged down in the weeds, I mean, if you look at the past, like the NFL lockout, the NBA lockout, the MLB lockout was huge. I don't know how much you know about that, but that almost killed American football or American baseball, you know?
Mm.
And once it gets there, people stop being impressed. I think they showed after the lockout season for the MLB, it was actually one of the worst MLB attendance seasons ever,
Right.
because, you know, it was shut down for a year. They had a shortened season. It came back. People didn't really believe it was going to be a thing, and they had mistrust. So as soon as you have those situations, I mean, because that's the scariest thing I think about this entire situation. What if we just don't have European football in 2026?
Man, I didn't even think of that. I was going to talk about Italy, but like, fuck, if we don't have any league, but I think I might actually like have just a day where I just don't get out of bed if we don't have like a league plan in 2026. Obviously, I'm not the only person that's done this. Like a lot of people have dedicated just their entire Like I left my job to do football work. Like that
Mhm.
was how mad it was for me. Like how I'm committed to it. So if we didn't have a whole league, I'd be devastated. And that would really, 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 like you say, it wouldn't come back. I think if it dies for a year and doesn't have a 2026 season, I don't think it comes back in 2027. It could. We had like 2 small leagues that is a bit shit. We don't really have a unified European champion because Vienna win one and Madrid win the other, and it's just everyone's a bit confused. That's fine. Not good,
Mhm.
but fine. But if we didn't have one at all,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think European American football survives if there's 2 leagues. I think it
Mm,
isn't great. It's not going to be a good product, but I think people are at least going to stay invested, and they're going to hope that things will merge and things will get better. We have an NBA, or we have an NBA ABA situation for a
mm,
little bit.
yeah,
That's okay. NBA and the ABA function together alongside one another, and they eventually formed, and it worked out great.
yeah.
The
NFL,
issue is,
AFL as well.
yeah, all of them. I think even NL, AL, and
Mm,
baseball had the same thing. So all those leagues started that way. So if that happens in Europe, great. I mean, it's not going to be that fun, but whatever. We can at least make it work for a little bit.
yeah, I
The
agree.
issue is if they don't play at all, the benefit that the MLB had when they had the lockout season, they didn't play, is they had 100 years of history
Mm,
before that. They had that lockout season in the 90s. I mean, MLB started in the 1880s, right?
mhm,
Like it was a post Civil War enterprise. Like that's like they can survive a lockout. The ELF started in 2021, right?
yeah,
Yeah, well, we got 4 years of experience at this point. Yeah, we're
yeah.
not surviving a lockout.
No, we're not. We're not. And the other team is Italy, which we haven't discussed really all on this show, but like even that has its questions because some people were saying Milan rebuild, some people were saying Florence, some people were saying Venice, some people were saying other like Rome. The strong suggestion is Milan. It's not the Seaman. I know it's not the Seaman. Like
Mhm.
I'm so fucking happy it's not the Seaman. By the way, like
Oh yeah.
whenever I like would try to explain, I'm sure you guys had the same thing. Oh, I follow European American football. Oh yeah, what kind of teams do they have in European American football? Oh, the Seaman. And everyone just
Mhm.
goes, the what? Sorry,
Excuse
like
me? Yeah.
excuse the huh? It's come again? Like that? That was a really really bad team. I know they were like named by was it Versace that named them or something like that? It was like
Something like
some
that.
famous designer that named the team, and for some reason, because he was feeling freaky on a particular day, they've kept it for the last like 20 years. But
Well, and not only just the name with the Seamen, I mean, it was also their logo was terrible, their colors were terrible, like,
yeah,
the whole thing was terrible, like,
the organization was terrible too.
the
I actually helped
organization was
that
terrible.
team.
That team was fucking awful.
It was.
Like,
And
that
that
team
first
was
year was
very bad.
me. That first year I helped out a little bit. I was
Mhm.
like, so I used to I talk a lot about my boards. I used to send my boards out to coaches in Europe, be like, 50 quid, you can have 1,000 players. I'll give you 1,000 players, 50 quid. Just every
Mhm.
Instagram handle, every link to highlights, nation, height, weight, age, notes on them, and a scouting grade. I was giving that out for 50 quid, which is crazy looking back on it.
Yeah,
No
you're
one
fucking
would
insane, man. You should have been
no one,
charging
no
triple
one took
that.
me up on that. Zero. I had zero
No
people
one
buy that.
no one would paid 50. Yeah,
No one paid for that. But I said it to Milan. I was like, I just want to get some ELF experience. Like, I'll do it for free. Like, I'll literally just scout Italy for free. They made me scout Brazil, so I scouted Brazil for like national team or dual national players,
okay.
like Giuseppe Della Vecchi, who played for both. But like, the organization was fucked. Like, like I brought in some suggestions, and I was like, "Hey, we got 6 E's that you guys want to sign." First of all, there was no scouting boards, there was no scouting department, nothing. It was just me, and I was like, "Coach, we have all of our 6 E's on offense. Like the defense is gonna be terrible." No. The defense is going to be really, really good. Like we've got some real nice Italian players. They're going to come from Parma. They're going to come from Florence. They're going to want to come from all these teams. We're going to be great. It was the worst defense in the history of the ELF that season, and I was like, oh well, it ain't me because they quit. They didn't want to work with me anymore for free. By the way, I got fired from a free job because my university team played Nottingham, who had Lewis Thomas, who played for that team, and we won, and I was happy about it. And they're like, "You made us look bad because you beat a Milan player, so like we don't want to work with you. I'm like, okay, like,
sure. I guess
I'm working for free, bro. Like, you can't fire me from working for free. But yeah, like Milan are a shit show, so I'm very glad that they're not going to be back in the ELF or AFLE or whatever's going to happen. It's not going to be Milan because both leagues have mentioned an Italian team.
Yeah, and I mean, if they put the team in Milan and it's just not the Seamen, I mean that again geographically it makes sense. I mean, especially travel wise, because I mean if you get deeper into Italy, it actually probably becomes a much bigger logistical nightmare just because of how fucking big Italy is.
Yeah.
So anywhere in the northern Italy is going to be easier to get out to the other teams. So we're saying Rome, like awesome. That'd be really cool if there's a Rome team. It would be great for getting people hyped and all that stuff. Logistically, because a lot of the ELF is just so centered in like it's Central Europe essentially. Like it's what the furthest east team we had was Vetivar.
Yeah. Now I think it might be Vienna.
Yeah, now it's Vienna, which I mean, you're not calling Vienna Eastern Europe. It is absolutely not Eastern Europe. And I mean, the Polish team is literally on the border of Germany. I mean, Wrocław is like literally there. So there's not a whole lot of travel that they've had to do. So you throw in a Roman team or you throw in a Naples team, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, now they have to like be flying. They can't just be taking bus rides.
Yeah.
Which I guess, I mean, if we're in the UK, I mean, when you get to the more of the southern teams, like going from London to Madrid is probably a pain in the ass. Like that's going to take a while. So
it's going to be a flight. I mean, even London's like towards the center. You know what I mean? It's not like it's kind of in that lower corner of the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, the furthest, we used to have Istanbul as well. That's a crazy thing. Like, you consider that. We went all the way from like, there's 8 teams that initially started. We went all the way out. We went all the way back in because we had Istanbul, obviously Madrid and Barcelona in that eastern region. Now we're just down to Madrid, like Monaco, and that's even kind of centrally. Like, and then we got more Paris teams. Like, you know what I mean? I would like to see some more rogue nations like Helsinki thrown in there. I don't know if we will, but like it would be really fun. Or like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of other team, make a Scottish team. Obviously, people really want the Claymores. That's what I was thinking with the London teams. If there are 2 London teams, it could definitely work, but I would rather see like a London team and.
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody would. Yeah. Have a team in Edinburgh, have a team in London. That's way more interesting than having 2 London teams.
I agree.
I mean, London's a massive fucking city, so obviously you can support it. Obviously, it'd be fine. But I mean, hell, even just any of the other like cities in England, like you throw one in Manchester, throw one in like, I mean, the soccer culture is so prevalent and like the rivalries are so big that like those teams, like the city pride is huge. Like you can absolutely throw one. I mean, even like you said, where you're in Bristol, like throw one in Bristol, like at least a little bit of a different pool than just London, right?
Yeah,
like a little bit more pride.
It would just be boring to have like. I'm worried they're kind of city hunting both leagues, and maybe a little bit could be accused of just city hunting. This is a big city, let's put a team here. This is a big city, let's put a team here. Monaco's got money, let's put a team in Monaco.
And this is the reason why the UFL isn't popular in the States.
Yeah.
Because the UFL does the same shit. They're like, oh, what cities have the most money? That's where we're going to. We got an Arlington team, we got a LA team, we got a Washington, D.C. team. We got a New York City team. And the thing is like the most successful UFL team is the St. Louis Battlehawks. When you think of America, do you think of St. Louis?
Oh, really?
No. No, right? I mean, do you even have a guess of what state St. Louis is in?
I know where St. Louis is.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But because the Rams played there and the Cardinals played there years ago. So I know where St. Louis is. But your average non...
And I can tell you, Americans are terrible at geography. The average American doesn't fucking know where St. Louis is. I can tell you that right now.
Much. I did a fucking CF like college football Road to Glory where I made my own university. It was in St. Louis. So I called them the Archers and I had a little archer as a little mascot. So I know where St. Louis is.
Oh, okay, hell yeah. But still, that was the most successful UFL team and still is the most successful UFL team because that's a city that's like still relatively big, but desperately wants to have a fan base and desperately wants their team. And that's why I've always like said UFL should be in like Omaha and Orlando and all these random cities that don't really have NFL football. Because why the fuck would anybody in LA be like, yeah, man, I'm going to go to a Wildcats game when they can go watch the Rams or the Chargers. You know, why would anybody in DC go watch the Defenders or wherever the hell they were called when they could go watch, you know, the Commanders, or even they can just go drive it to Baltimore and go watch the Ravens, you know? And that's going to be similar to if one of these leagues is bigger than the other, if the ELF has more traction, why the hell? Well, let's use Paris, for example, right?
Yeah, let's say.
Why would you go to the AFLE Paris team when you can just go watch the Musketeers, right? And that's the scariest thing about having these two leagues in the same city. It's like you're just cannibalizing yourself.
Yeah, and from rumors that we've heard, I think you guys mentioned the show about the Black Panthers. Was it the last show you mentioned about the Black Panthers, where they were allegedly, I'm going to throw a lot of allegedlys in there, offered to come into AFLE allegedly for an alleged sum of money? Like, can you imagine?
It was a good amount of money. I think it was $600K is what they were saying.
300 bills, yeah, I think it was. Like, you had that. All the Prague Black Panthers are in the Prague Lions basically now. All the ones that are like starter quality level. It wouldn't be a competitive team at all. Like, it would be poor. Like, we saw Prague go from 1-11 and went to 7-5 with the addition of some Black Panthers. People were like, we need to get all the Black Panthers in. They could be. People overestimate how good the Black Panthers. They were a good European team, but a lot of those guys are now back with the Lions. If they brought them into AFLE, they would be probably worse than like the Rams at this current point, who have obviously Devin Burrell and have Timothy Sherman, who's a great sign-in. So,
and if also again,
I'm a little bit worried personally.
And also again, why would anybody go play for the Black Panthers when they could just go play for Prague? Or play for the Lions, right?
You have fucking NFL DB as their coordinator, I think last year as their DB coach, and had Super Bowl winning offensive line coach, and Fred Armstrong and James Brooks and all these like European legends. I don't know. I completely agree. Yeah.
And again, with the 10 cities, 6 nations, I mean, it's just crazy because you're in an uphill battle, you know, like it is such a massive uphill battle to field competitive football. And that's why, like, when you look at it and you're like, Vienna and Ryan are going to be in this league, they are just going to beat up on some really shitty rosters, and it's not going to be very interesting at all. We're just going to watch Vienna go out there and 60-piece 8 of the teams in this league. You know, they're just going to walk out there. I mean, Monaco is going to – I mean, it's going to be like what we were watching freaking Munich do in Barcelona 2 years ago. Every time – the 2 times Munich and Barcelona played, I mean, they were breaking records of, like, just – organized professional football. You know, it wasn't like NFL records. It's like shit like this doesn't happen in CFB. Shit like this doesn't happen in the Canadian League. Like the CFL. The
Cologne players were playing for the Raiders. Were playing for Cologne last year. Some of them, like that was the level we were at. Like, I know we've kind of talked maybe more positively of the ELF rather than the AFLE in this one, but like. That can never happen again.
No.
Like, ever. Like, we cannot have Cologne back in the ELF unless they get bought out. If they have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever and get all the Ryan Fire players in, that would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But is it going to happen? Probably not. I'd rather play for Ryan Fire in a different league than play for a team that like Cologne that had the issues last year. But we can't have them back. I've heard through sources that Hamburg is probably not back. Probably.
I mean, Hamburg had their run of financial issues last year too, right?
They did.
And Hamburg made a lot of questionable decisions with some of their signings and some of the PR they were doing. I mean, the whole Talia discourse was hilarious, you know? So that's the type of franchise you're dealing with when you got Hamburg in the mix, you know?
Gosh, that every single decision I feel like blew up in their face. I did feel a bit bad for them at some points. It was like they brought in an injury-riddled quarterback and he got injured. Shit happens, you know. They bring in Talia. He has one of the worst first halves I've ever seen from any quarterback. Pick six in his first throw. I think he had 2 or 3 picks, but he easily had 6 or 7 throws that could have been picked.
It was a bad game.
Awful. And then he goes, and then the German Mac goes, and then they get in another quarter with Triegel, and then Triegel gets hurt. So again, Aiken. like I felt a little bit bad for them at some point. Like, when the hell is this?
Like, when
Christ?
is it going to be good, right? Like, when are they going to get anything, like any sort of lucky break? But
Yeah, like
it just didn't happen.
It just didn't. It never did. It never did. And I think that was probably the nail in the coffin for them. Cologne. I don't think anyone's going to play for Cologne. I think the Swiss general management in Helvetic is just so beyond repair. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
like Jamal is the most optimistic person in Switzerland football, and even he's like, yeah, Rams are probably going to be the best team.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, that's what we've been saying for weeks. Like, it's pretty bad. We shouldn't be doing this with Helvetic because technically they still exist, but in our minds, Helvetic doesn't really exist. Like, Helvetic's pretty much dead. And it feels bad because, I mean, Helvetic has been around for a while. I mean, they've really tried to make something work, but again, these leagues, they really just have to, it's cutting the fat. And like, that's what we were saying last year with ELF is like, we're so close, you know, like when we had those 13 teams, it's like, there's really only 3 teams that are completely non-competitive. Yeah. And then you have like another 2 to 3 teams that are like kind of bad, but they can like realistically upset somebody if everything goes correct.
Yeah.
And in a league, if that's your worst team, great. Because that's just the parity you want to see. And now we're in a very dangerous position where the levels of competition between some of the top teams in both of these leagues and some of the bottom teams coming in could be astronomical.
Yeah.
And we could even see something very scary where one of the leagues, talent-wise, is astronomically better than the other league. And then that's going to paint a really bad picture of that league in everybody's minds because they're going to say, this is the minor league, and this is the major league.
Yeah.
And if the rumors about AFLE throwing around money is true, I mean, they could very much posture themselves in that position because they can just throw money at people and be like, yeah, here's all this money. You never got paid in the ELF. Here you go. Like, and a lot of players are like, hell yeah, you're right. I didn't get paid.
Well, that's one thing they said to me. I was like asking a couple of people some questions that are involved with the league. And I was like, a lot of people are questioning the legitimacy of it. You know, is this a real thing? Did it really have money? And they're like, does the ELF have money? Like, they're these amount of millions in debt. How are we less legitimate than they are? And I'm like,
fair point.
A good point.
Yeah, fair point.
A good point. I haven't been paid. I've still got 2 months worth of outstanding ELF payments. I haven't been paid. So like, I completely understand their frustration with being called, like, I guess, a lesser league, because I think they're a little bit annoyed about it at this point. But like, give us some shit to talk about. Like you say, get one of them on the show, get a spokesperson to be a CEO, and then it will be a lot easier to kind of portray this transparency. Because the buzzwords and the people calling them out with ChatGPT with the hyphens as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's all just buzzwords of transparency. I just want to see some fucking transparency, man.
And I've said in the past, I mean, I'm a shill, dude. You come on the show and you're saying, hey, I'm going to give you some money. Dude, the AFLE is the best league ever, you know?
Give me money. I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it is such an easy sell for these organizations, you know? Like,
they say, man, come to the live. I'm like, all right, sound. They come to you, we'll bankroll. Don't worry about Euro Runner. We got you.
Yeah, we'll pay for it. Beautiful. Yeah, you're the best well-run organization I've seen in my life. You guys are
what's that other league you were talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. This league just gave me Euro Runner and ELF or whatever live. Like, I'm in. I need no more. Like I said to one of my British friends, he was like, would you go to this? Like, if they paid? I'm like, I'm a mercenary of information. I will get paid and then I will bounce. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You pay me, you can get whatever you need.
Yeah. No, there's no loyalties here. Especially if we're not getting any information, you know, we're not going to hold back any punches. I mean, that's just the reality of it because how can we hold back punches? We don't know what the fuck's going on. Right?
Which fucking did.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like a clusterfuck, isn't it? It's the weirdest place, I think, of any. Like, Europe has been weird before. I think this is definitely the most weird it's ever been.
Which is exciting for us. I mean, we've gone into it, what, like 2 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
And so we're experiencing the most tumultuous time period.
You really are.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun having
a draft, though. I'd actually, low key, I was thinking about on the bus, draft. could open up 2 leagues, join together on a merger. It kind of elevates everything. Everyone puts their funds together. I don't think a draft is completely unreasonable when you're up. I know a lot of people shut it down, but I don't think it's unreasonable.
And again, it's a draft is kind of a home run, right? Like you throw in a draft, it's an event. People understand how it works, and it gets it's a lot of fun, So it's an easy win if they could make it work. It's going to be a weird way to make it work because you don't have the collegiate system that like the US does, and I mean, I'm sorry, that's a very ignorant thing to say. Your collegiate system in Europe is functional, like it's a very well run. Like people go to Europe to study abroad, right? But in terms of sports, it's very different.
But can you imagine, like, first overall pick? Let's just say the Mercs. Do you pick a Swiss homegrown offensive lineman, or do you pick the new American quarterback? Like that would kind of be interesting. How E's, A's, and homegrowns would be like valued in the draft process. I feel like that would be really interesting to kind of
really
watch
cool.
as a fan.
I mean, you're definitely seeing all the A imports go like right away. I think.
For sure. I mean, but imagine you got a really good Swiss 20-year-old offensive lineman, and then you just had like a mid-season. Do you want to have like the Ryan Fire pick up this guy as an E, or do you want to like wait until the second and hope no one picks him up as an? I think that would be really interesting dynamic.
And especially if you put more teams in similar countries where they're sharing the same talent pool, then it gets really interesting because then you're going to have, again, like I said, I don't want there to be 2 Paris teams because that might cause some issues. But you put a team in Paris and a team in Marseille or something like that, or a team in Lyon, and then they're sitting there and they're like, we got a really good French receiver that we can bring in. We got this guy, and especially if, let's say, Helvetic and Alpine both survive, both sitting there looking at Spiller, and they're like, do we take him here? Do we get our quarterback? Because if we take our quarterback, there's a good chance that Helvetic's going to take Spiller. Like, it'd be great. And
I think so too. You give that player a fully first-round pick. You do maybe down 4 rounds, 3 rounds. Don't need to be a 7-round thing.
Yeah.
Like 3 rounds, you give every single one of those draft picks gets a 2-year deal. That gives the player a lot more stability and like a guaranteed contract. Because a lot of the players are worrying at the moment, I might get cut in 2 weeks. Then I've got to like up to that. All my visa, I've flown out here from the States. Now I've been cut 2 weeks, got to go all the way back. And so I think that could be fun. And it would also provoke development. You see like Russell Tabor,
absolutely.
Ethan Garbers, the Madrid callback at the moment. You draft a callback first round, you have to have him for 2 years now. That could be some interesting development time.
Yeah, and it makes it so you don't have teams like 2 years ago where we saw with Wrocław where they were kind of just cycling through QBs because shit wasn't working, and they're just like keep throwing at the wall. Whereas if they would have drafted one of those guys, they probably would have had him play the whole season because they're like, well, maybe he's going to develop into something good. So
I think a draft would be really fun. Like you say with the 2D, I think that could be really fun. But I think no, we're a couple years away, even if at the best case scenario. But like, I've been called an optimistic by some very, let's say, supportive comment sections on my YouTube channel. Like I'm being accused of being a bit too optimistic, but that would be my dream. Would have like a big draft day of European American talent. Maybe I don't know what the rules would be to enter a draft poll, but I think the UFL is doing a draft at the moment, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
Like that could be a similar kind of system, perhaps.
Oh, it'd be so much fun. Like it would garnish so much just hype, right? And it would get people very excited to see what teams do. And again, the first year is going to be the easiest time to do the draft because you got the whole pool of players, and maybe the next couple of years might be a little less climactic just because we're bringing in, 18, 19-year-old players that haven't really had a ton of experience. But that's you can say the exact same thing about the NFL, You can say, well, we were bringing in all these 21-year-olds that don't really know a whole lot and blah, blah, blah. And then you go out there and you see these guys are more dominant than people who have been in the league for 10 years, right? So
like Spiller, even. He was in third division of Switzerland? And then first 1K receiver in European league history. Like, you found him in a third-round flyer, or even an undrafted guy. Like, that's a steal.
No, it's a massive steal.
Yeah, that could be really fun.
So I think the last thing I want us to go over before we wrap up is just we saw this morning, or we're recording this Tuesday, December 23rd, because this is going to probably pop up tomorrow at some point. Kyle Kitchens did not sign with an ELF or an AFLE team. So what are your thoughts on that? What do you think that spells for the future of some of these older guys who...
Yeah, I think for Kyle, he's a very first of all, fucking love Kyle. Like me and Kyle are good
Mhm.
friends. Obviously, I've interviewed him in various different ways. Like I love Kyle to bits. He's just had a child, so for him, he's got his girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure his partner. She's German, lives in Germany with him. Just had a baby, so for him, staying in Germany was definitely an important factor,
Mhm.
or the important factor. I think he's been in Germany forever, so I'm not sure. I feel like he would be pretty close to being able to be nationalized potentially as a German. So that could also be a big thing for him. For him, he needs stability. You don't
Yeah.
want to be bouncing around different leagues. All of a sudden, one league that you picked goes insolvent, and you now have to go back to the states and leave your
Yep.
partner and your child in Germany. So for those kind of guys, maybe on the not the end of their careers, but guys who just want to have one last good season with their mates, like I think this is going to turn a lot of them away. I think we're going to see a lot of guys retiring. Some guys that just don't want to deal with it. You know what? I'm a like Adrian Platzkammer. He's a good example. He's not retired as far as I'm aware, but he's a lawyer in his
Mhm.
local area. He could just, I'm fucking bored of this shit.
Yeah, like why do I want to deal with all this nonsense, right?
You know what I mean? Or like Sandro, he's a surgeon. Like, I'm just gonna go do my stuff. Like, we got like 4 or 5 doctors in the league. I think 4 or 5. So
Mhm.
they most of these guys have day jobs. They don't need to deal with this. So I hope we don't lose those core of necessary players because it could make the overall quality of the leagues, both of them, a lot worse if we start pissing these players off and then they just go and just do their own thing.
No, I mean I completely agree. Yeah, it could be really bad for the leagues if we lose like the top 20 players in the league
Mm.
because they're all just saying this isn't worth my time. I'm going to sign with these other German teams or any other European country teams, or I'm just going to go back to the States and do
Yeah.
whatever I want to do, or like you said with Sandro having his surgeon like his surgery, like why would I not just do my day job? Like
Yeah.
at this point, what's the point of spending all this time in the gym and staying in tip top shape and getting ready for the league when I'm making enough money to support myself anyways?
Mm. Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of how European football is done so well, is because there's been the passion of, even though these guys are getting paid on the side, they don't have to earn a lot of money from playing in the league. They just love the game and they want to play.
Mm.
But like you said, once you get like those politics involved, once you get in a messy situation, why would you want to sit there, 3 months into the league, file for, league, like it collapses, you got to figure it out, go to the other side. If you're on an e-import tag, like, or A import and E import tag, all of a sudden you got to go back to your home country, figure it out, go through the visa process, all that stuff. I know it's easier for the Euros just because of the EU and all that, but I'm sure it's not just as simple as like, oh yeah, I can just move from Germany to Spain. Like, no big deal. No, it's not. Like, it's a process and a half in a fucking America where we're just one country to move from New York to like West Virginia. Like, can't even imagine going between international lines. Like,
Yeah, like you said, especially with the GFL has done such a biblically bad job of like
mhm.
marketing players and teams, and honestly, the GFL strategy is just fucked. Like they've been big. I honestly think the GFL should have done what the ELF has done like years ago. They should have tried to expand out to Austrian teams and kind of made like a Central European league and then
Yeah.
expand out. But they've been so stagnant. I wouldn't be surprised to see the GFL kind of take a step up because it was kind of going down, right? We had the ELF going
Yeah.
up and the GFL going down at the same time. As the more developed players in the GFL, like Arthur Kingdom, good example, spent a year in Potsdam, developed, went to the ELF. Uh, Player develops in the GFL, 1 year later goes to ELF. It was development league. I think we'll see maybe a bit more of a balance, but GFL is just so much less visibility, and then AFL less visibility. Italian league is technically on its own, but less visibility. Maple
Yeah,
League,
definitely.
Super Series, and all these other regional leagues are just you're not going to be able to see them. It's different seasons. I think France starting like January, and then other teams starting like December. So it's just
Well, that was the
it's not
whole
going to be
thing
as
with
fun.
Helvetic last year, was they were talking like the first half of the season was really bad because like, oh well, we'll get so many of our players in the second half because the Swiss league's still going on,
Exactly.
which didn't really pan out the way people were hyping it up to be. But
Jamal was sold. They're going
yeah,
to get all the Canada Broncos. They didn't get one.
Because they're
one.
football. They just played football for a couple of months. Like they wanted some time off.
Oh, it's the same with the Milan team. Did the same thing. They're like, we're gonna get all the quality players. All the fucking none of them. Like,
none of them signed. Yeah,
it doesn't work because you're just gonna be like, oh, you just finished season. Do you want to go earn 400 more euros? Play for a shit team? Like, no.
Yeah. You want to keep putting your body at risk. You want to, and then go out there. You just played 3 months of football. You want to go out there play another 3 months and risk an ACL tear? No, not really.
I'm an architect. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to wear crutches to work every day, right? Like, and that's just the hardest part with American football too. Is it's just such like a brutally taxing sport on your body that it makes it really hard when you have all these messy things going on in the background for a player to sit there that has a day job. It's like, do I really want to go out there and play for 3 weeks, tear my Achilles, and then not get my paycheck?
Exactly. Especially if it takes your day job. If you're like a personal trainer or something, which a lot of these players are. You tear your Achilles, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're not working at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's
so
detrimental.
Well, Matt, is there anything else you want to go over before we wrap up today?
I want a league, and if we have no leagues, then Matty Rushmore, as I've been christened by FDF for Down Fiasco, I'm gonna be fucking distraught beyond repair. So let's sort out what differences, guys. I'm actually gonna try and make a video of just asking some questions, but let's come together.
Yeah, I mean they got to come with a league because all of us are out of content. As content creators, we're fucked. I mean, we were doing the NFL shit for a little bit. Like this is our project now. Like if this falls apart, dude, I mean, hopefully there's some sort of African league going on that we can jump on.
Like, that actually is.
Oh, is there, dude? If this falls apart, dude, let's go Nigeria.
Fuck yeah, Rise Up Academy by OC. That's my new team.
Oh yeah, awesome. Well, Matt, where can people find you?
On Instagram, I'm most active, just Matt.Bressington. I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, all of it. Just type in Matt Bressington, it'll come up basically. So yeah, much appreciated. Thank you guys for having me on episode 101. Congratulations on triple digits as well. That's dope.
Thank you. Took a lot of work, a lot of unpaid labor to get here, but hey, we made it.
Congratulations.
So once again, from entire Fourth Down Fiasco family, Bressington, now has joined in as not just as a analyst arena guest, but now is actually a full-time episode guest, fully losing. He was half FDF losing his virginity. Now he's full-blown FDF. He's no longer an FDF virgin.
You popped my cherry, Tanner.
Yeah. Hey, been known to. So, all right. Love you guys. As always, check us out on Fourth Down underscore pod or Fourth Down underscore pod on Twitter, Fourth Down Fiasco on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're trying to rev up into the new year, putting out more interviews, things like that. Really trying to make sure we get everybody's minds on what's happening because none of us know what the fuck's going on. And I'm sure the players are a lot more frustrated than we are. So we want to hear what they're going to be saying. So as always, we'll be here next week and hugs and kisses.